Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
IT takes drummer Dave Rowntree to say what his Blur bandmates are thinking. It's a bit overwhelming, having all that emotion, he says. Somewhere in deepest Devon, not far from the rugged coastline, Rowntree is perched at one end of a cream-colored sofa in a cavernous barn conversion. Bassist Alex James adopts a typically laid-back pose at the opposite end while, sandwiched between them, guitarist Graham Coxon holds his head in his hands. Melancholic strains of the Everglades, for Leonard, from Blur's comeback album, The Ballad of Darren, are playing in the background. On the other side of the room, a solitary figure in a flat cap sits with his back against the wall, sobbing uncontrollably. It is Damon Albarn. Everything has become too much for the band's singer and chief songwriter. Is it because he's back in the company of his old muckers who helped him give Oasis a run for their money during Britpop's glory days? Is it because of a personal breakup, or is it simply a realization of lost youth, never to be regained? The answer is probably a bit of everything. "I'm just getting sentimental in me old age," Albarn is heard saying. These scenes come from the fly-on-the-wall documentary Blur, To the End, after their Parklife album song, which charts the band's reunion capped by two euphoric nights at Wembley Stadium in July last year. Directed with an assured eye by Toby Al, it is a refreshingly candid portrayal of the four protagonists, filled with happy/sad moments, and just the right degree of nostalgia. When Albarn recovers his composure, he alludes to his newfound single status. He says the latest Blur album, their ninth, is about the aftershock of loss once something dramatic has happened, whether it's a breakup or the pandemic. "I live alone, essentially, in the countryside. That's what has happened," he continues. And this record obviously feels very much like that. The film's opening sequences, including the one where Albarn breaks down, take place at the Devon farm he has owned since the 90s. It's the very big house in the country he bought back then, even if it was a bit rough and ready. The irony of these surroundings isn't lost on Rowntree, who remembers taking the P****s back when Blur released their song, Country House. He says, "I was the very last member to get a very big house in the country. But we've all done it, and it's funny how these sneering comments you make in your 20s turn around and bite you in the ass." The film begins with Albarn driving to his house down narrow lanes, and nearly crashing when someone comes too fast the other way. Soon, we're introduced to his chickens, and we hear about his rambunctious cockerel, called Tony. "Well, I've been coming here since 1996-97, he says. "I don't mind not being around people. My brain's not racing so fast. I'm able to relax. I suppose that's why I realized I could actually live here now." For Albarn, the Blur reunion represents a single but significant step in a feverish, multifaceted career. His numerous other projects include Gorillaz, The Good, The Bad, The Queen, solo albums, stage musicals, and operas, as well as that enthralling collision of cultures, Africa Express. But, at some point, he was always going to return to the group of people who joined him at the start of his epic journey. "We just carry a lot of experience collectively," he affirms. "That's why I wanted to do it again. For some reason, it felt wanted. At this moment in time, I'm 55 and I have to accept that time is not infinite." The passage of time looms large on The Ballad of Darren, an album which summons the special chemistry Blur have always had, but also reflects the older and wiser status of its members. "I don't think any of us thought we'd make another record, especially not a record like this," says Albarn. "I suppose that's why I wanted to try to make it as good as possible. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of old C***s trying to relive their past." For James, being back with his bandmates means a lot. "We've barely communicated for the last 10 years, he says. "But as soon as the four of us get in a room together, it's just the same as it was when we were all 19. For sweaty blokes annoying each other, the band is like a marriage, it's bloody hard. Are you willing to subdue your ego for the sake of the whole? WHE